So we hear this term investing all the time, but like, what does it really mean and what should you really invest in? So obviously the first very obvious one is
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Middle Table Podcast. Today we are talking money. So we're going to share some ways to grow your wealth in 2025. And we're going to start off with a pretty controversial one, but it's going to be investing. So we're going to start there.
So we hear this term investing all the time, but like, what does it really mean and what should you really invest in? So obviously the first very obvious one is stocks, like stocks, Roth IRAs, and things of that nature. So when you're talking about stocks, you kind of like, you're thinking like, oh, should I invest in an individual stock like Tesla or Apple or things like that? Or there's other options where you can invest in groups of stocks where you can diversify your investments. So I think the best option is to diversify, but sometimes I do like to play around and, pick stocks that I know are going to go up. For example, like Tesla did really well. And sometimes I like to play around with that, but you never know how a stock is actually going to do. So it's best to diversify your portfolio and invest in things like mutual funds and ETFs and things like that.
So what kind of growth, though, have you seen since you've been investing over the span of a few different stocks?
That's a good point. So lately I have been investing individually in individual stocks. So I will pick a stock, like for example, Facebook. It did really well over the years. It has gone up, and that has been my bread and butter over the span of 3 to 4 years. And I would say I've had probably 9% growth a year.
That's a lot.
Yeah, with Meta itself for me and my investments. So, that's my portfolio in general, but Meta was the bulk of that. So I've invested in other things like Tesla, some random stocks that I do read about and do my research on to see what they're about. If they're for example, Nvidia is pretty huge because they're a tech company who develops ChatGPT. Well, I don't think they develop ChatGPT, but they develop things similar to ChatGPT. So they're just huge in tech and AI. And obviously that is the future. So the earlier you get in, the earlier you can, make money. So things like that is important. Also just overall investing Roth IRAs, traditional Roth IRAs are really good for young people because it's a compilation of stocks that grow over time. So yeah.
Okay, so that's a good point. So let's say someone is just getting ready to, start investing for the first time. Is there a certain amount that you would recommend somebody putting forth first for the first time, or does it matter, or start slow, start little? What would you say works best?
I guess it depends on what you're trying to invest in. So I think everybody should start with a Roth IRA, period. No matter what age you are, log into E-Trade. There's many platforms that you can use. I personally like E-Trade the most. I don't really have a specific reason why. It's just what I started with is what I learned how to use first. So E-Trade is basically a platform where you can buy and sell stocks. You can set up a Roth IRA. You can set up mutual funds. There's all different things that you can do on that platform. So Roth IRA is basically an investment account. I hope I get this right. It's an investment account so you can invest in, I think the limit, it goes up every year or so, but you can invest $5,000 to $7,000 a year only in the account. Because so your money that you're putting in is already taxed. So when you take it out, when you retire at 59, 60, you do not have to pay taxes on that money with an IRA. Yes.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So a traditional IRA, I believe, you have to pay taxes up front. No, you pay taxes when you take it out once you retire. So there's a difference between Roth IRA and traditional. That's the only difference is one, when you retire, you pay taxes on it when you retire. The other is you're paying taxes on it now, so you don't have to pay when you retire. So that's the difference between those two. But the reason you should have those is just another way that you can invest your money without being taxed in the long run. So that's why I have it. It's just another way for your money to grow. A savings account that you can't really touch. There are penalties if you try to take it out. So that's the bright side of it, because any savings account that you have, you can just go into it anytime you want because it's so accessible on your phone. So those accounts are really locked away. It takes days for it to transfer over if you do want to transfer that money. So I like to have those just in the background. And yeah.
That's a very passive way to make money for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, another way too is Airbnb or just having real estate different places making money while you're not even there. So you have one too. You have an Airbnb. So like, tell us like what you've noticed in terms of the growth you've had, like I guess like how much you have to put up front or just things like that.
Airbnbs are interesting.
Yeah.
So I did partner with someone to get an Airbnb property, and it wasn't technically going to be an Airbnb. We were just going to rent it out overall, but we decided like there were only a few rooms were being occupied, so the rest of the rooms we were just like, okay, let's try Airbnb, and it's actually been doing really well. Sometimes people rent out for a time, so it ends up being like someone renting out a room anyway. But upfront costs are to furnish a room. It's not that expensive. Like the most expensive thing is probably like the mattress and the bed.
Really, in a room?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean in a room.
Like dressers are also expensive, but you don't have to get the most expensive thing. It just depends. Like you want a high quality room though. I did notice that because we did have a room that was like, I didn't put my full effort into it. And it was just like, it was like the basics of everything. Like it wasn't like, a high quality bed frame. It wasn't really that decorated either. Gosh. Are you hating right now?
No, you gotta start somewhere.
Duh.
How much were you charging?
Per night. At first, oh my gosh. It's not expensive. It was like $60.
That's about right.
Yeah, but in the area, it's not like a super like high traffic area. You're not gonna make that much because it's in a community, so it's just like a regular home. But yeah, so once you then my aunt came in and she helped me. She decked it out and completely raised the price. So now we can rent out a room like that for $100 a night because of the things that she did to it. She painted the walls. She redid the bed frames, and just the services that we include. Like we now shampoo down the bed frames the mattress itself every time. So we could just charge more for the quote unquote luxury services that we provided there. So I highly recommend Airbnb. You're not always going to be guaranteed to make money because you can't predict when someone is going to, purchase the property. Purchase a room or something or a night. But it's still a great side hustle because either way you're going to have to pay for the house. So it's like you already have it there. You might as well just make use of the space, if that makes sense.
That's true. I mean, that's a goal we're trying to achieve out here. But doing Airbnb in California is difficult. We've learned a lot about that in the past, I guess a year, maybe 7 months. Mm-hmm. But we've tried. We even took a tour at I forgot the name, but it was Strava. Yeah, it was like downtown. It was real nice. Mm-hmm. It was like an apartment tower downtown, and I don't think the rent was that bad.
No,
we would have definitely done it.
The rent we could have done, obviously it would have took out our savings because we don't make that much monthly.
I don't think so. You're right. If we're paying for two, because I think that one was like 36 or 34, something like that, and then that on top of our own rent would have been $7,000 a month. Yeah. But where the spot was though, and the quality of the building, we would have made money.
I know.
But there's a lot of rules though. What was the rule? It was you could only do it for 90 days out of the year. Yeah. And there's no point of us buying, or not even buying, but renting out the lease for the year if we can only do the Airbnb part for 3 months out of 12. Yeah. So it wasn't really, and I think that's a California law, right?
San Diego, I think specifically. I
thought it was all of California.
Well, Mission Valley.
Oh, there are some areas.
You can do it there, but you you have to buy a property. I think you have to own the property, something like that. But California has been really strict on it because I know it's a touristy area. They don't want to take away from the people who actually live here.
Yeah, which makes sense. But I think another place where we were another good place for that would be Vegas.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Also some place in Texas, Houston, Dallas. Vegas for sure. It's a 30-minute flight. That's probably not that short. It's 45-minute flight. Yeah. And shoot, it's one of the busiest attractions in America. Mm-hmm. So I think that would be ideal. But I still don't understand how, and maybe you know more than me about this, but when you're renting a condo, I guess, or an apartment, can you Airbnb that even though it's not yours?
It depends on the area, the building.
The building.
Yeah, because sometimes they'll say no Airbnbs allowed. Um, this one, oh my God, this one in San Diego, like Market Street, because some people still do it and they sneak. Like I know a lot of people who do that. But this one on Market Street, like they had signs up everywhere, like no Airbnb allowed. So if your guest came, they would see those signs like, wait, I'm here for Airbnb, but these signs are up. So some are like really strict about it, but others like, I feel like most complex buildings don't allow it. Like, let's be real. I really think a lot of them don't.
Ones don't, though.
Yeah.
Because even the ones where the one that we took a tour at, weren't we about to literally, like, we were looking at the lease, I think. We were on the last finishing steps, and then something said about they don't do it, and then we were like, oh, shoot. Yeah. So, they won't always tell you. They won't always, it'll be in the lease, though. You kind of have to search for it.
There's licensing and stuff. It depends on your state.
Have to.
But there are certain licenses that you need, which is like...
And they're hard to get. It's based off like, you can't just like pay a certain price and you have a license. Like you have to, like let's say for example in California or San Diego area, there's maybe 1,000 Airbnb licenses for a certain tier. So, and until somebody either moves away or gives up their license, then you can apply to get one. So it's not like you just pay and you're automatically granted one. Like you have to, there's a waiting list. So it's pretty difficult out here, I will say. But I mean, one day we're definitely gonna like branch out to.
We should try Vegas for sure.
I think so. I mean, that would be either that or if we move to like Texas one day down the line, then out there. But Vegas for sure. So yeah, Airbnb is definitely it's a passive income once you get it up and running. But like she was saying, with like the furniture and everything, there's definitely an upfront cost, which it'll pay off down the line though.
Yeah, I don't think I would want to rent a property though. I would want to like buy a property and then
do it.
And then
what's the difference though?
Because I own the property.
You already own it. Yeah.
Yeah, like paying rent, it just doesn't seem. I don't really like paying rent that much. To me, it's just
nobody does.
Yeah, exactly. So why not just buy a house? Like, if you have the down payment, if you have the credit, like it's doable. So I think that's just the better way to go. I've heard a lot of videos though. People are like, "Don't buy the property. Like it's cheaper to."
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Some people don't like having and owning the property because of like taxes and stuff like that. But personally, I want to have my own land. I want to have many properties that I own. I just think that's the better.
I think people also think it's like you're spending money either way. So what's the difference?
Yeah,
like
that's how I feel.
Well, on the other hand, it's like, well, if I'm spending money to buy it, why not just spend the money to rent it? If I don't want to live there, just leave. Like,
you can also just rent it out if you want to leave and have rent coming in forever.
That's true. There's definitely, so that makes sense how that is the scenario you want to be into. Airbnb.
It's more of a long term. It's of course. I just feel it's a long term investment. Like let's be for real. So yeah, there's that, and then there's also side hustles. That's another way to make money. A great way to make money, build wealth in 2025.
Yeah, I mean, for us, I think the biggest, especially for Eric, it would be content creation. Especially being athletes, though, you get a lot of brand deals and brand opportunities to just post, and then you'll get paid from that. Or just a lot of different sponsorships can be centered around social media. It may be like, okay, well, you may have 10 posts, 3 videos, or whatever, and then you get paid this much. So yeah, I mean, as an athlete, it's a very easy way to just get a few extra $1,000 a month. Like, I think really, and we're not even getting to YouTube, TikTok yet, but like for Instagram, in terms of just posting, yeah, I mean, you can tell them like, deals will just come, honestly.
Literally, like minimum 3K a post. Seriously, like I try to use my agents to get that monthly, but at least like. They pay very, very well. So it's amazing what corporations like will do for you to like create content, especially if it's in your niche. Like if it's rugby specific, it's like it's worth it. They pay well. That's
true. And even though like every post may not be like, 5, 6, 7, 8K, it's like, let's say you get 1,000 paid posts, like $1,000, and like that adds up. And that's not even, all you're doing is posting. It's not even that hard to post. So if you just post and you're getting paid from it, like who wouldn't do that? And not only like the paid promotions or paid, I guess, campaigns for posting, but we've been doing some, she's kind of been doing stuff in terms of like the embassy suite stuff or like your mattresses. It's like, we'll post and then get product back. So it's like, that's not money per se, but in terms of like a side hustle, it's like we're doing something to get, something we would be spending money in at the long run anyway. So when we moved into our house or into our place back when we did, it came in clutch the fact that we were, capable of posting and making quality content, because brands love that, and brands will definitely send you things to keep doing that for them. So I think that's definitely a good side hustle. But let's talk about YouTube too.
What are what side hustles do you like have or want to have or find interesting?
Honestly, creating a business one day in terms of just like selling something. I'd say a side hustle for me is like, I want to see making my own brand in terms of merch or whatever the case may be. And even on top of that, a book. So writing a second book for me would be pretty cool. And that's definitely a side hustle, because it's like track at this point comes first. And then the book would be kind of something I would do on my free time. But when I was writing the first one, it was hard because I had school, I had classes, practice, different random things, and then I had to make time for the book. So, but it was a good side hustle because it paid off. Because once it was done, it's like, and you have the physical copy of the book, it's a pretty cool feeling knowing that you wrote every single word, you picked what pictures are on what page, and then it's just like you're always gonna have that. You're always gonna, an author for a book. So I'd say writing my second book would be a side hustle that I want to check off my list for 2025. And down the line, even long term from that, probably, I don't know, creating like my own real logo and creating merch. I'd say so. Those would be two outside of, I've kind of been learning to like edit videos and stuff like that, but to make real money off of that is, that could take some real time and effort. But what about for you though?
Things I'm interested in besides like YouTube. I like the content creation side hustles. I've also tried like Amazon selling, which has been interesting. Selling on Amazon is it's just hard because you really want to get your product pushed to the top, and in order to do that, you have to run Amazon ads, and Amazon ads cost money. And then it just ended up, if you're not skilled in like running Amazon ads and knowing like what the bid strategies are and bid pricing period, ads period are just, I don't know. We both had the experience of trying to manage ads to promote like our podcast or like just even the Amazon seller product. It's like you have to really know how to use these platforms when you're dealing with them, or you will just be wasting money.
Yeah, exactly. You will definitely be wasting money. Some really do work though. Like
they work.
Some work.
But we have to like pay attention to what worked, who we're targeting. Is it targeting who we want to target? You have to know what areas to put it in so that you're not exhausting all of your funds in one day. What time is best to post? Like there's so many factors that you like have to pay attention to and really have to learn. So that's kind of where I'm at now, and I'm enjoying the process because it's like something you're going to have to know if you're going to run your own business. So
yeah, there's a lot that goes into that.
Yes.
But then even when it comes to like selling the products you sell, it's like, do you see a difference between selling on like maybe Facebook Marketplace versus Amazon? Or
product wise, yeah,
like is it easier to sell on like outside of Amazon or?
For sure, because like think about if I sell on Amazon Marketplace, people are already in my area. They're looking for the product and they want it today, and all you got to do is pull up to my house.
Cheap, cheap, fast, and like really.
So it's quick and easy because I've tried the product that I'm selling on Amazon. I have some few at my house, and it's really cool to see just the difference. Like I don't have to go through Amazon to I don't have to pay their fees. I wouldn't have to like do certain things, but so it's like a give and take because they help with promotion, kind of, unless you pay them, which makes sense. But yeah, there's like kind of a difference.
Which part? Amazon helps with promotion, or
because people who aren't in your area, it's another way for them to reach you. Like, I feel like Facebook Marketplace is a good place just for people who are in your area who need it now, opposed to if you want to really scale, Amazon's the way to go.
Okay, yeah. That makes sense. So is there anything outside of YouTube, Instagram, and then like selling things on the side that you would want to like, I don't know, start doing that's brand new that you haven't done yet?
No, I need to manage these first.
Actually, you're doing a lot though. Let's be real. Yeah, Airbnb. So you have a lot of, on top of rugby and traveling and I think actually, and the podcast too. We didn't even talk about that, but the podcast is also something that
we eventually want to make money off from YouTube because
Yeah.
regular podcasts, like, I don't know how they get paid, but like,
Well, a lot of them don't.
exactly.
A lot of them don't.
So I think
So-
we took the YouTube route because it's like, you can
Oh,
get
you
paid
mean-
from YouTube.
When you say
I'm
regular
talking about on the
podcasts,
platforms like Apple.
oh, you're talking about if it's not video form, like if
Yeah.
it's just the audio podcast. Yeah, I don't know how they. I don't know.
Yeah. So
I don't know. And if they're big enough though, they get sponsored.
sponsors and possibly Apple might pay them if they get a certain amount of
Like
views
per
or
views?
something.
Yeah,
There might be a
that's
way to
what I'm
monetize there, but
thinking.
so we took the YouTube route, podcast YouTube route, and we still post on our other like platforms, but this was the smartest route because you know how YouTube works. You hit a certain number,
Yeah,
you start getting
exactly.
paid. It's really simple. So
Yeah, so those are now that we're actually talking about it out loud, we have a lot of like things to keep us busy outside of the sports. We
For
have
sure.
to take 8 hours out of our day to even do. So
I love it because I feel like it's hard now, but all the skills I'm learning, like how to run ads, how to manage a freaking property and things like that, like it's going to get easier over time, and then it's all just going to be flowing in so seamlessly by the time I'm like 40.
40,
Yeah,
less earlier than that.
we'll see.
16, 16 years.
Let me cook. Yeah,
All right,
that's
no.
when it'll be flowing.
Yeah, hopefully earlier than that though. I think in
Hopefully.
30s really.
But
if you're
by
starting
40,
out. By 40, yeah. By 40, it'll be real. Like you can go to sleep, wake up with a different number in your account.
Exactly, that's the goal. So
Yeah.
it's like building now, and I love having sport for that because it allows us to do like things on the side more seamlessly and just really like enjoy our side hustles because you go to practice, you work physically, and then you come back
Right.
and you work your mind. So it's like
That's true. I mean, yeah, that's true. But I also think like sport is allowing us to do some of these side hustles. Like, I mean, for me, like the book, it's like I'm writing a lot about my journey and track and
Right.
everything, and then the podcast too. Is like this is one of the reasons we started.
my content.
Your
is
content,
The reason
that's- yeah,
my
that's the
content
biggest
is
thing.
Literally, so sport.
I mean,
has really
even
brought us-
your workout plan too.
Yeah.
I think that is definitely a side hustle.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
So you definitely. You got a lot.
And it's hard to maintain them all, so I have to really like try to narrow it down. But I do like the workout plan. I'll just keep promoting that same one until I'm really feel like I'm ready to drop like another one, So
Yeah, so that's good. And then I think another one is also in terms of like another way to grow your wealth would be having the right type of savings account. So most people, I'm not gonna say most, a lot of people really, they tend to just have like the regular savings account that you have when you open up an account. But a high yield savings account is the way to go. Like you'll notice a big difference when you get 4% back on your savings versus 0.0. It's not even. It's like
0.01
it's 0.00. Like it's less than a penny.
on
So-
a regular savings account.
On a regular savings account over the span of a year. So let's say you get like let's say you have, I don't know, basic math, 100K in your account, and you get 4%.
Who just has 100K casually?
This is math purpose. This is just for the
Okay.
purpose of math. Okay, well, $100. Fine. Let's say you have $100 in your savings or high yield savings account. You'll get 4% back over the year. You'll get like $4. That was not a good example. $4 more.
Okay,
It made more sense to have 100,000 because the
Okay,
number is
go
more like, oh wow, like oh my god.
Okay, go ahead. Oh, that's what banks probably do.
Yeah,
They just use high amounts, and they're like, "Oh my God, you're getting so much back." That's because you have 100,000
Right,
in your
yeah, that's
account.
true. But it's true. 4% of 100,000 is what?
4,000. Yeah,
Sure.
it is.
Yeah. Okay, so if you have like you said, you'll get 4,000 back over the span of a year for doing nothing. Like all you gotta do is just keep it in there, and then you get money back. But if you had a normal account, which for a while I did, and I just thought it was like, all right,
I
well,
put 'em on.
I was just like, all right, whatever. Like I'm still, my money's here. Like I'm not losing it, but it's not always about maintaining. It's not always about not losing. It's always about what can I do to just increase increase and grow. So high yield savings account. It's not hard to set up. It's not hard. It doesn't cost money. Like
I'm pretty sure every bank has.
every bank and there's separate banks that have that, like I guess specify in high yield savings accounts. Like
Goldman Sachs, Marcus. They need to sponsor me for this, but that's.
That's true though. Like they're really good at that. And all you gotta do is just, let's say if you're with a certain bank and you want to go that route, it's easy to transfer that money over. Like it doesn't take a while, and automatically you're already starting to save. So I think that is are there any other points on that? Like why it's so important to have one?
No, it's just a higher return on your money, really. and I think everyone should have one.
If your money's just gonna sit, at least
At least
allow it to make money.
Exactly.
And then let's shift over to like living below our means, or just not spending overly too much where you don't have to. So I say for us, I think the biggest thing when we were planning on moving to a place, because before both of us were living for free. I was living at the training center. It's kind of like dorms. You don't have to pay for anything. Food you don't have to pay for. Transportation, I'm already at my training site, so it's like I didn't have to pay for anything. And then she was. I mean, you could tell them how you were living
in a house with my teammates. We all like when you first move in, you all live in a house, and then you guys get like free housing because you all live together, and the like team provides it for you.
And then free swipes at like for every meal, and we still have the food stuff. It's just like now that we have a kitchen, we cook. But it's like when we were thinking about and really planning to move into a place, we had to make sure we weren't spending too much over our means. So, California is an expensive place. So it wasn't going to be easy in terms of, like, we knew we weren't going to be, saving as much as we really could, as if we were in a different, like, location.
We could easily be in a 1-bedroom place with,
You're right, as bad as...
half a living room and a little kitchen. But
we looked at that too, though, and it was...
We did. But, okay, so the thing about us is how we decided is because, like, we looked at the amount of money that we had now. I looked at his money, he looked at mine, I looked at both of ours. And we just, like, kind of calculated, like, okay, so we have to pay this much a month. If we weren't making this amount of money, we couldn't live. How long will we be able to live?
Yeah, exactly.
Without that money.
That's you're saying if we didn't, like, make a single dollar... How long could we? Yeah, you're right.
Yes, and then I looked at like our monthly income, like how much do we make monthly, and I like to do like you're supposed to spend like I think like 20% of your income on rent, so that's kind of like how I like to calculate my finances. But he gets paid differently, like he doesn't get paid monthly, so it's like we had to basically do the math, and we did.
Yeah.
So more of the story is we were fine, so that's why we moved here. But we still make sure like we have a set amount that we want to save monthly.
Yeah.
I have a set amount. I think Noah has a set amount. Do you have a set amount?
I don't know what you think. Yeah. But I mean, the main thing is like we're not spending on things that we don't need. So like it was a little overwhelming at first because the first month we were here is like, okay, well this month on this much on rent, that's a given. Groceries, food, whatever. But then the furniture too.
Oh my god,
that was big.
So much on furniture. I felt like I was going into poverty.
That was
only
a big
because
hit.
I was spending like this costs thousands of dollars, y'all.
It for real, thousands of dollars, and it's like, I mean, too with us is like we do like to decorate and we like to make things look a certain aesthetic just because we're gonna be living here. Why not make it,
at least for like
at least look good.
Years.
Yeah, so it's like even like stuff like this. We got decorations.
It's free.
Oh, that's right. Actually, we ain't even pay on that.
These have been in every single one of our podcasts. We should like shout them out or something. Anyway,
shout them out. Say it again. Then.
Fracture Me on Instagram. Look them up. They have great quality portraits. We have many more upstairs. They're beautiful. And they totally 100% buy them again.
Yeah, they came in clutch. But like, when it comes to like little decorations here and there, it's like many people may be like, "Is that necessary? Like, really? Like a plant?" But it's like for us, it's like it's a one-time purchase. When we move, we're probably gonna take all this with us.
Probably we are.
Not this couch though.
You don't like the couch?
We're gonna get a new one. But yeah, so we're gonna take everything with us, and it's a one-time purchase. So for the first month, it was like, dang, we're spending $10K.
Yeah.
But every other month, it was like, all right, well, that was just a one-time thing. But yeah, living below your means is definitely one way to, I guess, continue to save, along with making sure you're not spending too much in areas that is not necessary. So I think we do a good job with that for the most part.
Yeah, the most I spend on is we spend on food. Like we eat out once a week probably. Gas.
Sometimes, yeah.
And we don't even buy clothes like Nike.
Yeah, no.
Nike, Noah gets free Nike stuff because he's sponsored. And then I don't need clothes. I don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
I have enough outfits to last me forever because I don't go out as much. So it's like we don't really have much to spend on anyway. So we're just kind of stacking our money and paying for rent.
The only thing I say we really go all out on is holidays, because we hosted a Halloween type thing. We hosted Christmas. I think there was something else too.
We had a housewarming party.
Had a housewarming party. So it's like we'll do decorations for like Christmas, and we'll go all out. I'll admit it. And like we'll have the Christmas tree, stockings, whatever. And then Halloween we did a whole party. So it's like that's the only type of things we'll go all out. And we even the decorations we keep those. So I don't think we have a problem with that. I think we're living right where we should be. But that's important. That's how it is supposed to be.
Yeah.
So yeah. What do you think the proper way to budget is? Is there a certain way you like look at your finances each week, or do you budget by month? Like, what is the best way to budget?
I budget bi-weekly. I have meetings with myself. Sometimes Noah will join me. So basically it's pretty simple what I do. I have all my accounts on a spreadsheet, and I just type in however much is in each account every 2 weeks. So I can see the difference. It's really that simple. It's like, where are you losing money? Where are you gaining money? Is your savings growing? Are you on track? Like, it's really that simple. So it's just an easy way to see everything. Oh my God. The hardest thing is like actually budgeting month by month, because it's unpredictable what you have to spend money on. Like, let's be for real. Like, you can't say I'm going to spend $480 on groceries. Like, maybe sometimes I spend like more or less. So it's like, I don't know. Those things are kind of hard to predict. Like, you can have a rough amount, which is what I do now. But I know I want to get my nails done. I know I'm going to get my hair done. It's like kind of things that come, So I don't know. I have like a amount that I don't go over a month. That I will say.
I mean, especially too, based on how much you travel, it's like every month is bound to be different. Because like 1 month you may be out the country for 10 days. I know in November, a couple.
3 weeks.
Yeah, you were gone for 3 weeks. So it's like your finances are going to look different. So it is kind of hard to really, unless you legit just write down exactly.
Yeah.
Like, you would have to get real detailed, which, that's not a bad thing, but it's hard to really track all that when you're traveling and every month is different.
Yeah.
So it just depends, though.
It's like way easier to just save a certain amount a month and live off
You think so?
the rest. Yeah. You don't think so? Because, like, basically, I make an amount of how much I want to save a year, right? So if I save that amount, that's each month, then I'm bound to hit the goal that I wanted to for the year, period.
I see.
So it's like you live with what you have left over from your savings. That's how I operate. And then
I see.
if I get extra money, which, like, say I make a content post that I wasn't expecting, I at least put 10% away. Like, I'll save an extra 10%, so then I have extra savings, but then I have extra spending money too. So it's like, I don't know. It always works out that way.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, even for us, I feel like in terms of budgeting, as a couple, I think it really just comes to, we don't have that many expenses.
No.
We talked about it earlier, how it's just like rent, groceries. She mentioned gas and then bills. But it's like, other than that, we really don't spend much. So it really is pretty easy to budget. Unless I'm missing something, it can't be that easy.
No, it really is. Like, it just depends on, like, we spend more depending on the events, like we said.
Yeah.
But yeah, the only shared expenses are like rent and groceries pretty
Unless
much.
we like travel.
Right.
We've gone to Aruba together, we've gone to Houston. Stuff like that, or even Paris. Like, stuff like that, it's like normally we'll split somewhat. And it's like, that's like a one-time thing. Like, we understand why that month was high.
Right.
But other than that, it's pretty... I think we're doing a good job on being consistent. Every month is around the same like ballpark, so individually and like our shared expenses. So I think we're doing a good job, and that says a lot because we've only been living together for a few months, and the fact that we're still pretty stable and we're in a good routine of saving and spending, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I agree.
That's pretty good.
So thank you guys so much for watching this episode. This was exciting for us. We love talking money, investing, and helping you guys grow as you grow with us. So make sure you tune in again for the next episode next week. We're so excited. So